thanks for coming today. I hope that you are having fun and learning a few stuff. And for today, we have a really interesting topic that is called progressive web apps. I think that most of you work with web or JavaScript. Raise your hand. Alrighty. So this is a really cool topic because actually we can start building really cool stuff from scratch without not much effort, and that's something that as developers we really like, right? Doing cool stuff. Okay, so first of all, my name is Laura. I'm part of Samsung Internet team. We are all based in London. Actually, the whole team is here today. What do we do? Actually, we have a browser. Do you know that? Samsung Internet has a browser, okay? So we have our browser, and it's an open source project. It's based on Chromium, and actually is available not only in Samsung devices, it's available in every Android device. So actually, if you are building things for Android, please check it out. We are also looking for feedback. And also, we have cool features available for you. For example, PWA, that's one of the things that we are going to talk today. Fingerprints, we are also looking for other projects related with WebXR. I think we were checking that today. And again, if you're still checking why you should check Samsung Internet, we are kind of popular, let's say. We're the second most popular Android browser. That means almost 20% in some places around the world. And yeah, it would be great if you can send us feedback. Besides that, we are also looking for new projects collaborating with other browsers like Edge, right? We are also checking projects related with 5G and WebXR, okay? And that's the cool part. We are really engaged with the community. We are looking to build products for you in order to make better web products. And also we are organizing hackathons and events, right? So please, if you want to hang out with us and give us some feedback, or which kind of things would you like to see in our browser or in our team, please let us know, right? So, and then we are like almost 4.3 average, so that's cool, I think so. Okay, let's start talking about PWA, Progressive Web Apps. So something that is really interesting, if you're a web developer, maybe you're working on your own, you have some cool projects around, and you know that most of the users are moving into mobile. So if you have your own startup, or if you just want to engage more users, most of the time you are in with this kind of thing like, okay, well, if I want to reach out mobile users, should I build a native app? Then should I hire like Apple or iPhone developer? Should I learn something new because I don't have money? So basically, why we should take care of reach more mobile users. First of all, we need to use some features that are available just in mobile. For example, first of all, we're going to have more engagement with our products. We want that our product is going to be used in not certain kind of users, that actually we can have a better experience with the user. And a few other things that I like to check is, for example, having offline experience, right? There are in certain kind of countries that we have to take care about connectivity in order to improve the engagement of the user. So what if I want to use offline experience? I want to even use notifications, right? And what if actually I can combine a native app with a web app? So that's why we have a PWA, okay? So PWA are pretty interesting. Actually, they have different features. Again, we can have offline experience. We can even have an icon on our home screen, just like an app. and they are like a native app experience, right? So let's see, but for us as developers, how can we actually start creating PWAs? You're going to be a little bit surprised because it's not that hard, actually. There are 3 different things that we have to keep in mind. First of all is security. So we're not going to focus that much into security, but just to let you know, you have to use HTTPS, okay? That's the only thing. Second thing, besides security, is we need a service worker, right? The service worker is going to give us the feature to have the offline experience. So how we can actually build a service worker is like too hard. Not at all. We can have different types of service worker, right? And if you already work with JavaScript, this part of code is going to be pretty familiar for you. First of all, what you usually do is create a script and include that script in your index or in your start page, okay? So the very first thing is if you are going to create a PWA, you usually have to install that, right? So the very first step, what we have is, okay, is this already installed? If that is already installed, what we're going to have is that the service worker is already found, okay? And then let's go to the file, right? Again, don't worry that much about the code. I'm going to share with you a few different tools that actually you can build a service worker. And what I want to show you is that basically we have different parts of a service worker, and it's pretty simple, right? And then let's go to our proper service worker file. So to have this offline experience, we need to use our cache, right? So in this case, what I'm going to show you is an app, right, that we call Pigment, that basically is going to work for us to convert different formats of colors, right? And I'm available to use it offline. So here, as you can see, what I'm going to refer is to different files that I want to cache. It can be CSS, it can be some assets, or even some libraries, like in this case. And then we have 3 different parts of our service worker. The first one is install, right? If you're familiar with promises and JavaScript, this is something that you're going to use most of the time. And besides that, there are different ways to build a service worker. And there are different types of service workers. We're going to check that later, but this is the basic one, right? Very first step, install my service worker. Second step, fetch. So what is fetch? Basically, I already catch a few files, right? Some images, some assets. What if I have new files next time that I'm going to load my page? So it's going to check if actually I have new files there. And if it's going to find something new, it's going to catch it, okay? And then the last part is activate, right? So it's going to activate my service worker. That's why, if it's already installed, the next time that you're going to open your PWA, it's going to say, okay, that's fine, it's already installed, right? So those are the 3 parts of our service worker. Okay, we have HTTPS, a service worker, and then we need a manifest file, right? So a manifest file is going to give us the ability to have like a native app look like, right? So if we want to have a native app, we need an icon, right? We need a URL, for example. And again, is that too much effort for us developers to create a manifest file? Not at all. This is a pretty example of a few things that you have to keep in mind to create your manifest file. It's just a JSON, as you can see, right? And we have different properties. Those one here right, are the ones that you need. There are a few ones that are mandatory. I usually suggest to complete these ones right here. Again, even though that you're thinking, wait, but how should I remember all these properties or things like that, I'm going to show you how you actually use other tools to create your manifest file, okay? So again, you need a name for your project, you need a URL, right? And besides that, you can even have background color, icons, right? Because you need an icon if you want to see your app in your home screen, okay? And that's it, basically. So already, we have our PWA, right? And let me introduce you one other tool, right, that we are building into Samsung Internet. So what we're going to check today is I'm going to leave you a few information and a few links so you can put hands-on and actually build your PWA in a few minutes. So for us, recently in Samsung Developer Conference, they introduced One UI 2. Does anybody know what is One UI? It's basically the skin that Samsung has for the new Samsung devices, right? It looks pretty fine, right? Not because I'm working on Samsung, but it looks great. And besides that, we were thinking why we can build a library that actually we can help developers to make their app look like a One UI. So we built One UI Web. This is something that I would like to show you. Basically, themes, style. If you're not the best designer like me, right? We have other people in the team that are great for that. Me, I'm like, okay, give me the code and I will do it. You usually need maybe another library or templates, or definitely make your life easier. So we build this library. It's open source, and it can help you to build PWA, because what we had before are things related with the performance, our code, but don't forget that every time that we need to build a web, we need to make it responsive. We need to make it look great. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense that if it's offline experience or whatever, and it's not even responsive, okay? So that's One UI Web. It's available in our GitHub. I'm going to send you the link. This is in beta. We are working into building demos for you. We are also looking for improved accessibility, right? And basically, it's something similar to other libraries or frameworks that you've been using before, okay? So what if we combine some other things related with PWA, One UI, right? And that's how it should look like, right? So those are the controls. This is an example of how your app can look like. We are actually doing even a theme builder for you so you can combine different colors. And actually, we create a demo that is called Pigments. Pigments is an app that is going to help you to convert different colors into different formats, right? Again, I'm not a good designer. I don't know much about colors. If you tell me black, I don't know. I have to Google everything. But what if we can have that kind of tools and available offline, right? To look for a color and then convert those colors. So we create Pigments. So if you check here, Pigment is based in One UI Web, right? So even the way that it looks like, the layout is based in One UI. So you can actually see it, right? And how does it look like as a PWA? Here is the interesting part that we're going to check. Okay? So when we have a PWA, I told you that we can have this look and feel like a native app, right? So if we check into the browser, the very first thing that we're going to see is that we have this icon that is besides the URL that is going to say, hey, you can download your app, right? So once that we click over there, we're going to have this prompt message, right? And after Pigment is installed, here's the icon. If we install, it's going to look like an app, basically, right? So as you can see here, in the first screen, we have the icon there, right, as any other native app. And besides that, besides the kind of look and feel, we can actually even track the activities of our app, right? Like battery, right? How much data this app is consuming, right? So that's the good thing about creating a PWA, and as you saw before, it doesn't require that much. So if you're already having a website or you want to check how does it look like, you can try it right now. So, and then the next time that we are gonna use Pigment, we can actually check that into our phone, right? And it's not going to open the browser. I mean, you're not going to see the URL, and the browser bar is going to open like an app. So you have this look and feel, okay? So I think that you need some more action here, right? Don't sleep and take a nap. So we have two things for today. First of all, this is our library, One UI Web, okay? So please check it out, give us feedback. We are improving things for you. It's open source, and we want to start building more demos, forms, and everything, every kind of cool stuff, okay? And then we have some hands-on, okay? So we build, right, a step-by-step guide in order to build your PWA today, okay? So you can actually open Glitch and start the step-by-step guide. In this case, I'm gonna show you in a few minutes. We're gonna use PWA Builder, right? So with PWA Builder is a tool by Microsoft, right? That what we are going to do is basically we're going to open our URL, and even, you know, the code that I told you, that I showed you before, they're going to do that for us. So even more lazy things for us, okay? So we are going to be able to create a service worker, a manifest file, see different types of service worker, and then try to install our app, okay? So what we're going to do right now is try to build our PWA using Pigment Starter Kit, right? And let's go. Let's see how it looks like. For example, here, Pigment is already installed, right? So if I check Pigment, we have the app here. This same experience is in your phone, right? And if I can open this here, it's going to show Pigment running. And basically, the URL that I use is by Glitch. It's the same thing that you're going to do now, okay? So again, I can uninstall these like any other program, okay? So that's the cool thing about it, and it doesn't have that much effort in our side, okay? So to put some hands-on, I will leave the URL here, and I think we still have time to check, right? So I will invite you to start creating your PWA. How does it sound like? I have a few people that can help me, I think so. If you need anything, just raise your hands. And also, again, if you know any good parties for today, also raise your hand. Let me put the URL again. There we go, okay? Again, even if you want to create you already have some other demo that you're working on, and you also want to check how does it work, we're going to use PWA Builder, right? And that would show you quickly how it should look like and a few things that you have to keep in mind. Again, even if you don't have enough time today or something like that, you can actually save this code lab. It's just, you can just spend a few minutes checking. And the idea for me, it would be great that, okay, I can actually create a PWA in a few minutes. I have a native app look like. I can save money before hiring a native app developer, right? And I can start actually building web. So, all right, everybody's in glitch? Okay? Okay, so let me show you quickly. Everybody used glitch before? No? So again, this is another super cool tool. I'm going to actually log in here, and also I can show you how you can use glitch. So I really like glitch because you can build super cool demos, and they even give you a URL. I always confuse my keyboard. I use English US, keep in mind that. Okay, let me do, I don't want to show you my password. I really suggest to start checking glitch if you didn't take it before. Okay. Okay, I already put my super duper secret password. Don't hack me. And okay, so we have here glitch. Just let me explain you a few minutes if you didn't use this tool before. You can actually have some projects here. If you are trying to build demos or even try to create some quick projects, it's super cool because let me go to this one, right? It's similar to the one that you are going to have before. If I go to view source, you can even import and export projects from GitHub, right? And if I go here, and I go to Edit Project. Basically, I can start building JS projects, right? And create folders. And in this case, the README is open, right? And actually, it's going to give me a URL where I can see my project with my code. And the cool thing about this one is I can have a live app URL, right? So in the case that you need to share your project with somebody or something like that, you can just create this, you share your URL, and that's it, okay? So I'm going to show you quickly what you should have to do with PWA Builder. You have two options. First option, follow the same structure of a service worker that I gave you before. Install, fetch, and activate, right? And the other option is even more simple, is I already have this one set up, right? So I'm going to check my URL here, and I'm going to PWA Builder, right? Here. And actually, we can use whatever URL to check if we can have a PWA. So I'm going to just paste my glitch URL here. And as you can see, right, we are missing a few things, right? So we need to have a manifest. We don't have a manifest. They check if we already have a service worker. I don't have anything. I just have my HTTPS set up, right? So with PWA Builder, I can go here, and then if I press View Generated Manifest, it's going to give you even the whole JSON that you can use, right? And also, of course, you can even add more things. For example, I told you before there are some kind of stuff that are mandatory to complete. Icons, right? You have to put which icons you can use. You can complete it here, or you can just follow this step by step, right? You can upload your images here, right? And yeah, if you need any other settings, you can complete it just from here. Once that you have it, right, you can just link your project, okay? And actually, you need to create a new file that is called manifest.webmanifest, where you're going to put this JSON. That's it. That's a manifest file, right? Once that we have our manifest file, again, we don't even have to start from scratch. If we are already having our website, we can just go to PWA Builder. And then our final step is our service worker, okay? So service worker, again, we can have different types of. The one that I showed you before is just to have some offline experiences. But here, if you need different types of settings, you can even have different options, right? So, for example, cache first, offline copy with a backup offline page. You choose one of these service worker, and then you just export your code, right? And then what you need to do is activate these into your start page, right? So what we have here are two files. This first one is the one that we need to put into our start. That's going to be usually into index.html. Why? Because this one is the one that is going to call our service worker. In this case, it's called another file, is PWA Builder, okay? And then this is a file, actually, right? We just need to export this code, and that's it. Basically, if you are not sure if you build your PWA and maybe you are missing something else, and maybe you try to test it on your phone, and you're not able to see the download button. What I usually do is, okay, maybe I'm missing something. I go back to the PWA Builder website, I copy and paste my URL again, and check if I'm missing something, because usually you can see if you have any errors here. And that's it. You can have this kind of native app experience, and it's just a few minutes to do. So I hope that you find it useful. Check the code lab. You can do it step by step. Check PWA Builder, and try to use Glitch because I found it very useful, okay? So one of the things that you need to, you want as a developer is that the products that you are working on reach more users, right? And one of the few things that was happening with PWA is that we didn't have discoverability, right? So it's not like an app that usually, where do you go to check to install an app? To the store, right? But now, recently, with Samsung, we are available to actually see our PWAs into the Galaxy store, right? And I'm not sure which one is the proper mail to reach out, but we can check. And if you build your PWA, you can show your PWA into the Galaxy store so people can discover your app. So those are really good news for us. First of all, because we can reach more users. Second, we save time and money. And yeah, more people can use your app. So I think it's really a good time to be a web developer. We can actually start building cool stuff and reach more people into mobile web browsers, okay? So, yep, thank you, and happy Halloween.